What does it mean to be a parent? It's wonderful and joyous. It's scary, intimidating, and limiting. David Lynch dives into those intense anxieties. I think because, well, this is Eraserhead. Eraserhead is about, listen, your guess is as good as mine. You see, there's this guy named Henry Spencer, played by Jack Nance, who finds out his girlfriend Mary, played by Charlotte Stewart, had a baby, and that he's the father. But the baby was premature, and it's not really a baby so much as some sort of inhuman head with a stick for a body. And Mary's parents, played by Alan Joseph and Janine Bates, are really weird, and they're little turkeys. And Mary's mom tries to make out with Henry, who's about as comfortable with that as being dipped into a vat of sharks. But he does have a thing for the beautiful woman across the hall, played by Judith Roberts. But he also has a thing for a woman in his radiator, played by Laura Neer, who sings strange songs. And there's also a man in a planet who I think is supposed to represent sperm and the conceiving of the baby. And I would say all of this, and the story reason why the movie is even called Eraserhead, would make more sense if you saw the movie, but I'm not sure that it would. Anyway, it suffices to say this movie is weird, but the kind of glorious, purposeful, unpretentious weird I can get behind. The strangeness is helped by the look of the film, which is perfect. I mean, my god, look at this. Lynch in his first feature film creates a perfectly realized world that isn't quite our own. It's filled with dark, beautiful imagery like this, and this, and this. The fact that this is anyone's first movie is astonishing. I would be hard-pressed to find a filmmaker with such a strongly realized voice right out of the gate. Lynch has certainly evolved as a director and writer, but he gives the illusion here of being an old pro who's been at it for decades. As others have pointed out, his origins as an artist, he attended the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, should make it no surprise that he's so focused on imagery. Eraserhead is dark, industrial, dystopian, and otherworldly, like we're looking into some horrific alternate dimension. One where everything is rough and cold and cramped and uncomfortable and loud. Lynch plays industrial sounds under most of the film. There's no peace in this world. There's always something nagging at you, threatening to drive you insane. And that's not too far off from what having a kid is like, especially in those early days. I can only speak from my own experience, obviously, but do you know when parents of newborns get time to do anything? To even complete a thought? When the baby is sleeping, assuming the parent hasn't fallen asleep by then too. It's exhausting and can put you on edge and leave you unsatisfied, very much like Henry. You can't even visit the mysterious, sexy woman across the hall, which is also true of having a kid. Things we could easily get up and spontaneously do before are now much more difficult because we have a kid to take care of. Mary herself isn't dealing well with the new baby either.
I can't stand it, I'm going home!
What are you talking about?
I can't even sleep, I'm losing my mind! You're on vacation now, you can take care of it for a night!
Well, you'll come back tomorrow?
All I need is a decent night's sleep!
I can't tell you how many times I felt like I can't take it anymore. No, I haven't, in frustration, abandoned my wife to take care of our child, but sometimes you feel so overwhelmed that part of you wants to. And not only is your mental and emotional health tested, but it can also strain your relationship with your partner.
Why don't you just stay home?
I'll do what I want to do! And you better take
Henry is left alone with the baby, who appears to be sick, probably the source of its crying. To get the baby to stop crying, Henry builds it a special something to help it breathe better. And in those early days as a first-time dad or mom, you really don't know what the hell you're doing. So the small successes really mean something. They show you that you might be able to do this thing called raising a child, and this scene illustrates that possible future Henry could have with his kid if he could work out his regrets and his frustrations of being tied down with a child. But Henry is dubious about this kid and looks to the woman in the radiator. She represents an alternate life where he could be happy, free from the obligations of parenting, and even his relationship with Mary. He doesn't want to, or at least he's unsure about having a kid or being married, and they're holding him back from things he'd rather do, like visit the girl across the hall or the woman in the radiator. Then again, they both could represent the grass is always greener saying. Traveling down the bumpy road that is parenthood, it's easy to think what could have been, what life could be like if you were childless, the things you could do or accomplish. Personally, I'm glad I had a child and wouldn't give my daughter up for anything, and I doubt Lynch would give up any of his children either. What I interpret from this movie is not that it's saying how horrible it is to be a parent, or that you should never have a child, but that there are true restrictions inherent in it, and being a mom or dad can be horrifying and overwhelming, and the experience isn't all happiness and rainbows. Now, Lynch is loath to explain what any of his films mean.
Elaborate on that.
No, I won't.
He leaves it up to the viewer to decide.
The meaning is different for different people, and it doesn't help to say what it is for you. It's up for everybody to, to figure a thing.
So he may not have meant any of this, but I've seen this basic theory suggested, and I've always dug it. But if you interpret the movie differently, that's obviously fine. I welcome your take on this weird film, and I'm excited to see some of those differing views in the comments. Some might ask, though, why does Lynch need to express thoughts and ideas in such an odd, incomprehensible way to begin with? To me, the stars of his movies aren't the plots, or the actors, or the look of the film. It's the emotions. His films, at least the ones I've seen, are all that. While a plot happens, even if it's hard to understand what the hell the plot is in some of his movies, because they are sometimes so weird, or because the plots are shown in the end to not matter all that much, you're not focused on them or the next plot development. Your attention is on the characters' emotional arcs. Their dread, happiness, sadness, depression, and trauma. His weird imagery is the illogical, non sequitur, intense, lingering thing we call feelings. And that's why Lynch is so brilliant in my eyes. He captures emotions in celluloid and does what all good films should do, makes us feel. And with COVID still going on and distancing us from friends and family and exhausting us, in some cases deadening our emotions because we're just so darn exhausted, well, maybe we should all watch more David Lynch right now. It might be just what we need. Hope you enjoyed my look at Eraserhead and what it means to me. Please let me know what it means to you in the comments. If you like this video, please hit the like button, as likes, and especially comments, help with YouTube's algorithm and the video getting to more people. Please check out 25yearslatersite.com, which is partially hosting this video. It has plenty of awesome articles, audio pieces, and podcasts, one of which I host, about film, television, and music. If you're looking for other things I've done, please check out a top 10 list about Godzilla that I co-created about 2 years ago with some other 25 Years Later writers. And for something else on my YouTube channel, there's my review of the astoundingly great 1995 romantic drama Before Sunrise. I loved making that one, and it's one of my favorite reviews. Until next time, hug someone you love, and remember to be kind.